Hello, I'm Lisa Kapala. Welcome to Where's Wilmington. I forgot my new last name. It's Egan, but you guys already know that. We have a lot to unpack in this show today. I like to say in life, that old adage, when life gives you lemons, make lemonade. So part of what we're going to talk about today is how people during COVID really changed their life and how they opened up small businesses. 20% more small businesses were opened during COVID, if you can imagine that, than the national average of small businesses. So we're going to talk about that. We're also going to talk about these lovely scorched boards, and we're going to meet our new friends, the Mytychs. Hello.
Hello.
Welcome. So
Thank
next
you.
to me, I have Kim Mytych, and next to her is her daughter, Melanie. I want to thank you both for being here. I know it takes a lot sometimes to be on television, so I appreciate you being here.
Thank you.
I'm going to start with talking about taking you back to pre-COVID or right when COVID hit. So before COVID happened, Kim, what were you doing?
I was working at the health department over here in Wilmington.
Right.
I've been there for probably 12 years, maybe 13 years I'd been there.
Okay. And when COVID did happen, you were still determined to be an essential worker, obviously, right? So you were still working full-time
Yes.
when that happened. And what were you doing when COVID happened? You're pretty young, so
Yeah.
I don't know how old you were then, but what were you up to?
I had just started high school at Minuteman Vocational.
Wow. So different for you because school pretty much stopped and you had to learn at home. Okay. So now you're moving along, COVID happens, nobody really knows what it really is and what's going to happen. And I want to talk about your bravery and sharing that you both have anxiety, and I have that as well. So COVID must have exacerbated that for both of you. Kim, can you speak to that a little bit?
Yeah, it was the uncertainty, not knowing. We didn't even know day to day. So for somebody who has ADHD, anxiety, depression, all of that, it was just a whole whirlwind of emotions every day. So I would go into my basement, my crafting room every night, and I would flip furniture, I would paint, I would do any kind of crafts, and that I found that really relaxed me, put me in a different headspace, got me ready for the next day. So that was
Right.
really my outlet to try to regroup
Right.
for that.
And so with you being in the trenches, I know many people did a lot of great things in Wilmington, and I appreciate all of that, and in the world too, but we're really focusing on Kim's life. So you were going to the health department and you were hearing all of the scary numbers and all of the scary stuff. So you were using crafting as a way to kind of numb that and get that out of your head.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Okay, what were you doing at that time? Now you go to homeschooling. How is that for you, suffering from anxiety, being in that confined space and having all that pressure? What was that like for you, Melanie?
My anxiety was actually not as bad as I thought it was going to be because I was in my safe space. I was in my room all the time. But my ADHD was through the roof. I couldn't focus. It was very hard for me to fully listen to teachers. It was very hard for me to basically teach myself when I already suffer from other learning disabilities and I have ADHD. So it was very hard not having like somebody sit in front of me being like, we need to go over this.
Right. Or also being able to have that energy outlet. When you're at school, you're going class to class. You get that energy outlet going to the next class, talking to all your friends. You didn't have that as an outlet. So that brings us to Copper Hearts, which is the name of the business that you created. First, I want to ask, why is it called Copper Hearts?
We used to have a dog. His name was Copper. And he was the neighborhood dog. He was everyone's best friend. And unfortunately, he was hit by some car or some vehicle, and he ended up on the tracks behind our neighbors in the front of us houses. And my mom had come home and noticed that he wasn't normally where he was, and my brother had let him out earlier that day. And she went on a search looking for him all over the place, and she couldn't find him. And we had actually found out that he was taken to a animal hospital up in New Hampshire by the man who was conducting the trains.
Wow.
They had stopped the commuter rail and picked him up and brought him right into North Station and took him right to an animal hospital. This man wouldn't give us his name. He didn't want anything from us, and all he said was, I didn't care if I lose my job. I just wanted to help this dog.
Wow.
And that had completely changed our lives, and that had just completely spiraled this whole thing. And we really just wanted to dedicate something to doing good to the people, because he made us believe that there's still good in this world.
Okay. So here we are. We're going through the pandemic. And then you come downstairs to your mom while she's crafting, and she told me what you said. Do you remember what you said?
I wish that everyone could have this outlet that we use to, get our anxiety and ADHD out. I just wish everyone had this little outlet of calm.
And what did you say to her? This part's funny to me. What did you say to your daughter when she said that?
Oh,
Come up with a...
yeah, so
Yeah.
you need to if you were to have a business, what would you do?
Right.
Come back with a list of everything that you would want out of a business.
And she did it.
She did.
Oopsie.
Yes, she came back about a week later, and she had a list. And as I started to go down the list and read the requirements,
Yes.
and I'm thinking, there's no way that we could possibly do this. But I'm going, yes, this is great. We can do this, definitely. And I'm like, no, there's no way we can
Because
do
you've
this.
never owned a business before.
Never.
No. And you really didn't know where to start, but you had a really good idea.
Yes.
Right?
Yep.
Okay. So somewhere along the line, you decide that you no longer can work for the town and do this too. What was that like for you to make that leap of faith?
It is the absolute hardest decision to go from. At that point, I'd been there 16 and a half years, and it was so difficult to leave that. But in my heart, I knew that what we were doing was helping other people. It helped me. It definitely helped her, brought us closer together.
Right.
We wanted to travel, start to do more shows, and really expand a little bit. And I couldn't do that with what we were doing.
Right.
I couldn't put 100% into both. So,
Okay. So going from a guaranteed paycheck and benefits, you just jumped right in.
I did.
How do you feel about that now?
It was, it's tough. It's hard. If anybody says, go ahead, open your own business. It's great. It's hard. This is the hardest I've ever worked.
Right.
But I love it.
It's a
very,
labor of love.
very rewarding. We get to
Right.
meet so many people, and I'm so happy now that I've did what I did.
Right.
But it's definitely a struggle every day.
Right.
But it's a labor of love.
It's worth it. Okay.
Yes.
How did you feel when your mom, so you wrote the list, which I understand was a very comprehensive list,
Yes.
right? Which kudos to you for actually doing what she asked and doing it thoroughly. Knowing that your mom gave up a secure job, how did that make you feel about her saying, I'm all in? Did you feel pressured? Oh, now we really have to do this? Were you proud of her for doing it? What were your thoughts when she said, we're doing it?
I was just extremely proud. I was like, oh my goodness, this is what we're gonna do. Okay.
And it's a real
Like-
thing now.
Yeah.
It's a real thing. So you had a dream, a vision, and you made it something. That's quite amazing. So let's shift our focus a little bit. So when I was growing up, a million years ago, we had something called crudité. I think that was the word of the 80s. All it was cutting up vegetables and putting them on a tray. I think we can all agree charcuterie is the new, fun, cooking, party, snack word of this pretty much era we're in. But all really a charcuterie is just putting out snacks in a creative way on a tray, right? So how did you decide you were gonna go into scorching, is what it's called, right? Putting these designs on these boards. How did you decide that was gonna be your focus, Melanie?
We didn't really know at first. When we first started, we were doing resin work, and when I came downstairs and said I just want everyone else to feel this calm, we needed to find a project or a item that everyone can do, and you don't have to come back for it, because we still have pottery at places we never went back
Right.
for. So we needed something that you could take home that night.
So one and done. You want
Yeah.
to be able to do the project and take something. I think there's a gratification in that too. I've been to lots of different crafting classes, and I think you want to be able to take this home and say, I did this. Whether it's paint, everyone does the painting, or the making of the wine glass with the paint on it, right? Okay, but you had to learn some things to get this to work. Tell me about, because I know there's some cool wizardry that you guys learned to make this work. Can you speak to me, Melanie, Kim, about that?
Yes. So it took us about 6 months, trial and error. We've went through every project, and again, it had to meet every specification on her list. And that was, we had to use sustainable products,
Right.
something that was easy to care for, something that everybody could do, you could take home with you. It was easy to care for. And the hardest part was something that continues to bring people together.
Right.
That was hard. So, like I said, 6 months trial and error, we came across this process, and we tried it, and it was okay. But we're like, I think we can kind of go off this. But then we came across these beautiful charcuterie boards, and we're like, what brings people together more than a charcuterie board?
Right.
Everybody's happy, when there's a charcuterie board
Right.
around. So we said, this is great. Let's build off this. So then we kind of tweaked the process a little. We put together a gel that we use, and that was the hardest. It took how many times?
I think it was like 6 months it took us to fully nail it, because each we tried so many different pieces of wood, and so we had to calibrate our gel to each piece of wood, and so this probably took us 6 months to figure out. And
So when you say gel, I'm guessing the people pick out what size board or what kind of wood they want. You're saying preparing gel, right? Putting something on the board so that the
Yep.
scorching will take. Is that what we're trying to say?
Yep, so we do we picked out the wood specifically. We use acacia wood and mango wood. They're antimicrobial, they don't harbor any bacteria. They're very easy to take care of, and they're beautiful colors on the wood. So that is a process to find that wood, specific wood. And then we develop a gel that goes with that. The gel is a non-toxic gel we created. We've almost burned our house down 3 times trying to come up with this. The money maker is the gel.
Right.
It's very specific to the boards and what we do. It leaves a very nice mark. So people pick out their own design. We can do custom designs, handwritten recipes, all of that. Then we put that template onto the board it's a vinyl template that we use. We put that
Okay.
onto the board, and then we put the gel over it.
Okay.
We let the gel seep into the board, take the vinyl template off, and then we hit it with the commercial heat guns, very high, intensive
Right.
commercial heat guns that heats the gel and burns a really dark design into the board.
Okay. So does the gel make the image stay permanently? Is that what you're saying
It
to
does.
me?
It burns it into the board, but it's still a flat surface, so it's very easy to clean, but it's scorched into the wood.
Okay. Are you going to patent this system that
We
you're
would
doing?
like
We'd
to,
love to.
but it's a lot of money to be able to do that, so it's in the
Right.
process.
But there's nothing out there like what you're doing.
There is something out there. That's how we kind of came across this whole thing, but ours is specific to different types of woods, and it's you can see how dark it is,
Right.
and it's ours is non-toxic. There's differences.
Well, it would
to
have to
it.
be because you're putting food on it.
Yes. Yeah.
And also, you're opening during the pandemic, so people are going to be asking all the hard questions. Is it non-toxic, antimicrobial, all those things?
Yes.
Fascinating.
Yep.
Okay, so obviously you've opened a small business. Oh my God, right? Now you're doing all this. But there's a give back piece. Can you talk to me a little bit about that, Melanie, the charity piece that you guys do? And I know you have something sitting over there by you that you want to share with us.
When we first started this company, like we said, we based it on doing good and being with people. So we absolutely adore working with charities, doing fundraisers, anything like that. And it's probably one of our favorite things to do within the company is to be able to give back to others.
Okay.
And we do this board here. This is our charity board.
That is gorgeous.
Yeah, and we give this out in our baskets when we do fundraisers and other items. We also add in a glass wreath. We do glass decanters and etched wine glasses as well. We also add in some food that you can learn and that you guys can place on the board as well.
Right. So when you say give back, how does that work? What do you do?
So
Tell me,
we
Kim.
can either do different types depending on the needs. You come to us and say, we're doing a charity event. We say, great, what do you need? Sometimes it'll be a basket and a raffle item, then we'll put a basket together. Others will do a actual workshop.
Okay.
And we work with them to bring in people to this workshop. We give them obviously a discounted rate,
Yes.
and so that helps them raise money as well.
Okay.
One of the two.
And you're doing all of this from your basement, right?
Yeah, we build all of it from our house, but we also work with a lot of local businesses, mom and pop shops,
Right.
local restaurants.
Tremezzo.
Yes,
Shout out to
Tremezzo's,
Tremezzo. Everybody
they're
loves
fantastic.
them. They've helped you out by
Yes.
allowing you to have one of your scorching classes there,
Mhm.
right? Okay.
Yep.
So do you deliver the give backs? How does that work? Can you tell me about that?
Yeah, we can definitely deliver. You guys can come pick it up at our house as well. We have a bucket outside our house that's a delivery bucket. It's fully waterproof.
So high tech.
Yeah,
Yes.
right? So high tech. It's like a Husky bucket. So it's
Okay.
like,
Cool.
it's it has a lid on it and we can lock it and everything like that. So they can definitely come pick it up, or we can drop them off at the fundraiser itself, bring it in that day. So
Cool. What would you say to someone who's thinking about opening their own business, a woman or anybody really, but what would you say to them now that you've done it? I will bet you're going to tell me if you knew what you knew, you wouldn't have done it. Isn't it good to be somewhat naive? Because if you don't know all you're getting into, you're just in it. So what would you say?
So before I did it, I did some online research for other small businesses that had opened. There's a lot of resources out there.
Right.
And people are honest now. They get online, they tell you what it's like. So I kind of opened my eyes a little bit before. I can't say that I wouldn't do it again. You have to be passionate about it. You have to love it. I love the giving back part of it. I love to be able to go into veterans, some of the detox centers, we do work with them, seniors, things like that, and just the appreciation when they see what they did.
Right.
People that can give these as gifts, and the looks on their faces when they're like, I did this, and I can give it as a wedding gift.
Right.
And they love that, and that to me at the end of the day, it just
That's why you're doing it.
I love it. I love it.
Okay.
I really do.
What do you think about all this? You're a young lady. You're going further into your future. You've opened a small business now at your young age, right?
Mm-hmm.
What do you think is going to be the future of you? And what would you say to someone maybe around your age that's thinking they might want to do something like this?
I have big dreams. I really want this to, go as far as I possibly can.
Yeah.
Some days I imagine myself in a suit in a conference room talking about everything, what we're going to do for the community, who we're going to hire, you know what I mean? So I have very big dreams and hopes for this company.
Okay. What do you think about working full time with your mom? What's that like?
It's great. No, it's amazing.
You have your days. It's
We have
normal.
our days.
It's normal.
Yeah. There's some days where I'm like, all right, I kind of need my space.
I kind of need to go scorch
Yeah.
something to get away from you, right? No.
Yeah.
What's that really like being in close quarters? Because I own a small business and it's 24 hours a day, 7
Yeah.
days a week. It really is. When you're really in it, you're driving by. Oh, that place is open. Maybe we could rent that. You know, I mean, you're constantly thinking about it.
Yes.
So you eat, sleep, and drink this business. What's that feel like?
It's I can't ask for anything better. I mean, I love my mom to death, and we are attached at the hip, and this has just made us so much closer and so much more confident in each other, and it's just awesome.
Great. And I also know that you're both somewhat shy, you've said to me, right? When you go to these events, how does that work with the shyness? What happens?
I associate places with either, like my ADHD, I have to associate places with things I have to do or who I have to, like how I have to act.
Yes.
So like at school, I'm more shy because I want to get like my work done. Or I'm at home, I'm more comfortable with myself, I can do anything. But when I'm at these workshops, I know that I'm the boss. You know what I mean? Like I'm in charge. I know what I'm doing. I can help all these people get the board to a beautiful piece, and I feel so confident, and it's just where I love to be. Even like during fairs and stuff like that.
Because you're stepping outside yourself.
Yes.
You're immersed in the project.
Yeah.
That's why you can do it.
I don't be quiet when I'm at the
class. I love it. And how has this helped you with your social anxiety? We use the word shy, but social phobia or social anxiety. How has it helped you?
Oh, tremendous. But it's really her. I feed off her. It's just to watch her and how much she's grown. We can go to an event where, there's 30 people and she just commands the room. And to come that far from seeing her, at 15 with the panic attacks, it's been it's just amazing to see how much she's grown. So I really do. I feed off that.
That's nice.
She can do it. She's doing great. We go to these huge fairs. Sometimes it's 400,000 people that come through.
Wow.
And she's right up front. I mean, selling. There's a couple of large restaurants that we have sold to, and she's right there with the owners, in the midst of it. And I'm in awe, absolute awe of how.
So her
she's
courage
done.
feeds your courage.
Yes.
I love that.
Yeah.
Is there anything final you'd like to add today before we close the program? And I thank you so much for being so candid about what you've been going through.
Yes.
Anything you'd like to say?
I would love to, if anybody has any charities, we would love to work with you. You can reach out to us through our Facebook page, our website. Also, you can buy direct from us. That's on there as well. Or you can sign up for any one of our workshops. Any of our local businesses that support us. We're going to be in Reading, in North Reading. We're kind of all around. If you do own a small business as well and you want us to come in, it's good for you. We help bring in the people. We do the advertising for that. And it's good for us, and it's good for the people coming in. They get to do the boards as well. So that's really what we want.
Good.
We want to support jobs and the community as much as possible. So reach out to us through our Facebook page.
Which is Copper Hearts.
Yep.
Is it all one word or is it spaced out?
Well, actually go to our website, and we also
Which
have a
is?
link. It's copperhearts.com.
Okay,
And
all one
everything
word,
is on there.
copperhearts.com.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anything you'd like to add, Miss Melanie?
She
before
said
we
it
go today?
perfectly. Other than
All
that, we
right.
would love to work with other small businesses or help out with their fundraisers or charity events. I mean, like I said, they're our favorite things
Cool.
to do and favorite people.
Cool. And I hope the next time you come back, we can say you got a patent. Wouldn't that be something?
Yes.
We would
love it.
Yes.
We
We
would
love
love
that.
it.
Thank you so much for all you're doing for the community.
Thank you.
And thank you
so
for your
much.
courage and sharing your story.
Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you for watching Where's Wilmington. I want to remind you you're watching Where's Wilmington. The next time somebody asks you, where's Wilmington? You tell them right here and right here on WCTV. We'll be with you again soon. Thank you so much.